Okay, on the way. Welcome to this FIFA 22 Career Mode Challenge with Clermont Foot. Really excited to get this going. This is one that was posted by the former FIFA CM Tips, Raji FC, so definitely check him out, his Twitter, his YouTube, and all that, because he has some really good challenges and all that for anyone who's looking for ways to make Career Mode more interesting. But Clermont Foot is a very interesting club as they do only sign free agents, so that's something we're going to be targeting, only free agents in this Career Mode, and pre-contracts and all that is our goal. And within 6 seasons, we have to win the Ligue 1 title. So we'll try to make that happen. They also do have interesting history as they did have the first female manager to manage a professional men's match, and that was Corinne Dacre, the current manager of the French women's national team. So we have some interesting storylines to go about, and they do have some good players actually from start. And Simba is actually a pretty good fullback. Hundiji is actually pretty solid in the game, as well as Dacre. So we actually aren't too bad with some of the players we have at hand. Mania and Busquets are going to be CDMs at the moment. Lavina has some pace. Kawi, actually a pretty solid Tunisian player. Dosu, another pacey player. Mohamed Bayo, this player really put the club into Ligue 1 with 22 goals and 8 assists in Ligue 2 last season, and actually has 9 goals and 2 assists so far in 17 matches. So a really solid player. Like I said before, we're going to be using kind of a 4-2-3-1. We're going to try to exploit that pace on the wings, and we're going to be trying to use as much as we can the youth academy, but it's always a bit on the more difficult side, and we'll see if we can bring back some good players. But at the moment, 20th, but still only 3 points away from the drop. But tons of room to improve after the first half of the season. So ending that first half of the season in 20th, and it's a challenge with this side for sure, because the rating of these players is not very high. It's easily the lowest rated team in Ligue 1 and Career Mode at the moment. So yeah, it was at least when I did record this as well. So yeah, we'll see how it is now with some current updates. But moving on, we'll get into this big match here against Stade de Reims, trying to move up in match day 20 in the table and get out of the basement? Yes, the basement. See if we could get out of there, as we do have I think a team that's actually built for gameplay more because of the pace on the wings and kind of being able to bunker back and utilize that, hit them on the counter. That's really what we try to do. A great cutback from Lavina to Kawi, which is deflected. A good block there from the defense. Now moving on, trying to make something happen here as the ball does get easily intercepted. Not the best pass from Nsimba, but Busquets steps up perfectly. Ball back to Dosu. Kawi with some space outside the box and absolutely rockets that into the back of the net. A perfect hit there from him. So that was a lovely finish, and that is pretty much going to be one of the most beautiful ways to score your first goal of a Career Mode. A great hit from outside the box from our center attacking mid, who's going to be with us for throughout. So you're going to see a lot of these guys. Obviously, we can't be making, it doesn't make too much sense to make too many transfers out, since we're mostly just going to be spending on contracts. We're just going to be sitting on like contract signing bonuses, maybe stuff like that. And in the end, that was a big 1-0 victory to help us push us kind of further into the race and not be so far there into the basement and move up a little bit in the table. Certainly is what we need, because it has been rough so far. They did actually put us at 18th and actually started a bit of a run. You'll see in the league there was a bit of a run after this, which helped constantly kind of push forward in the table. You can see a victory against Monaco actually happened there to move the side up a little bit in the table, and you'll see some other results come in hand. Also a draw here against a decent side and Stade Rennais. So in the cup, we'll actually start taking a look at that. It's just, that's the thing with Career Mode, is once you kind of start to get in form, you can keep going. And that's what happened here. So now we beat Saint-Etienne in the cup, first round of the cup that we had to play, moving on to the round of 16 against Monaco, which is obviously a pretty strong side, and actually we're able to again grab a victory against them, this time on penalties. And moving on into a match against a bigger side in Lyon, so a pretty good cup run certainly can help with some funds as well, and probably not the most high paying cup as a Coupe Nationale. But in the end, a 3-2 victory. Didn't go out terribly, went out swinging at least. At the moment, 29 matches played, so 9 matches left, 28 points, level with the other 17th. They just have us on goal differential and a point behind another club as well. So a win here against Nantes would be huge, as they are pretty close to some table, and we just need to kind of make some room, try to get there and get some breathing room to end the season. It's been a pretty stressful one, battling relegation, but this side, like I've said before, isn't the best rating wise in league. I think it's pretty sure it's at the bottom from what I remember the last time I looked at FIFA. But now moving on, Dosu with that pace, like I said, on the counters where we really are strong, but the finish is not there. The end product is the problem on that wing at times. It seems like we get in the spots, but doesn't always come through. This the thing with Nantes is they have some really good Clermont players. Like Moses Simon is probably my favorite Clermont player of all time. What a ball player over the top from Bayo to Busquets. Absolutely rocks that in the back of the net. A little late run in the midfield from Busquets to put that in the back of the net. What a beautiful hit from him. You love to see it. Bayo dropping deep and the midfielder filling that space. And I think once we get, some better players, we can play some more dynamic football. But the point is mostly bunker and counter. Our defense certainly isn't the strongest out there, especially rating-wise. And that's something to look out for. But a great save from Dema there to keep things 1-0. Do lose the ball pretty easily. Nothing on the counter, but still tons of pressure from Nantes. And just missed interception. Great play and hit the post again. So pretty unlucky as they had the run of play for the most part. Now this time again, ball hit over the bar, well over the bar. They've had all the chances, but we took advantage of our one chance. And that's really what's kept us in until now. 59th minute, a big hit to make things 1-1. And at this point, it looks like it could be a really wide open match. You'll see in Simba, the left back with a huge run. None of these defenders can keep up with his pace, and he hits that one in the side, ending a perfect finish from the left back. Can't ask for much more from him in a spot like that, as in the end he'll be making things 2-1. But our defense very shaky, as you'll see here, just absolutely destroyed. Ball looks like it's going to try to be played back in. Moses Simon playing the ball back out here. Giroto to Fosu. Back to Koita, who missed quite a few chances, and in the end it's 2-2 with some beautiful play, as we'll have to try to win this one late. 3 points would be huge. Now Zadaka to Busquets, to Dosu, back to Bayo, to Busquets, and that one goes over the bar. So in this very difficult first season, could be relegation on hands, and thankfully, again, our poor defending is not punished right there. Ball played out here to Olavina. Going to look for the ball to Manya, back to Alavina. The pacey winger is going to put the ball into Mohamed Bayo. And what a way to win this one with the cinematic celebration. And that is a great... you can see Korean Doctor running over her. She kind of remade her. I am terrible with making faces, but that was the best I could do. And Bayo, of course, who really just propelled the team to this spot, is the one who's going to end up keeping us in that spot. So that huge goal is the one to put us in the end out of the relegation race. We ended up pushing up on really hard that the rest of the season, finishing 13th. So kind of a lower half, but close to the mid-table finish. And that's a promising sight to see. PSG winning the title, though. You're going to see them obviously kind of in and around their luck. Considering that the players they have, it's going to be a tough ask to win the title, but we'll see if we can complete that part of the challenge. And Bayo with 14 goals, 7 assists. Dosu with 11 goals, 5 assists. Cali with 10 goals, 3 assists. Alavina with 7-5. A couple other players pitched in as well. So some good performances for the most part. And you can see the way some of the players grew was pretty promising also. So getting into the next season, I think we'll have some players that can really contribute in all facets of the game. We'd actually make one signing, Adam Lang. He didn't really feature whatsoever. You're just kind of a backup center back. But Manya and Busquets, both up to 72 with some pretty good improvements. Quite a few players going down in rating. We did sign a player in Victor Provost, Arthur Kroos, who might feature, but probably not. You never know with some of these youth players. Mohamed Bayo, the big winner in growth, getting up to the 78 overall in that season. We did end up finding a quality Algerian left wing back in Samar Slimani, 61 overall. Very interesting player. He could certainly slot into the future. Once he's 16, we'll call him up. And could be a quality left back option if we can't find someone else eventually. So we'll see how that works out. I mean, obviously, we're going to keep trying to improve this squad. But in these first couple seasons, we're not going to be making too many signings, we'll say. And we'll see maybe if we can try to implement some players from the youth academy. So you see some players being being sold. I didn't necessarily have to make it happen, but it certainly is going to help out. Because if you did find Mathieu Carvalho, a very quality midfielder, he's agile, good balance, 76 overall, and he's going to improve us right away in that attack. And because, I mean, Dosu, Alavina are in the kind of lower 70s, and Carvalho certainly is only 25, has some room to improve. And I think with his physicality, his technical ability, he's going to be a pretty good kind of more marquee first signing, because Adam Lang was our one who we had before just because we needed a backup center back. But so one signing made here. Benjamin Pavard was available, but for the sake of realism, I did not want to sign him at this point. So we're going to sign a depth player. It looks like in Lalas Abubakar, another depth piece at the center back spot, because really our defense was atrocious. If you actually looked at the goals allowed, and the overall ratings of our defense is never that good either. So on a cheap signing, just to give us another player at least within the 70 range, we'll have him. But I think after I saw Ibrahim Amadou available, I was like, okay, we're going to move him to center back because his overall rating is pretty high. 76 overall, a pretty physical player, and we'll see him moving to the center back spot and trying to help us improve what was a pretty poor defense, honestly, in that first season. So that's really the main thing I think we can address. I think with the squad we have now, we can certainly push more into like a mid-table spot in this upcoming season. So moving things around, you'll see Alavina is at 73. We're going to have him on the bench as of now, but Dosu's a little bit older, so I think we'll see Alavina get some play. But Carvalho slots in the left mid. Other than that, it's pretty much the same, other than Amadou stepping in also the center back spot. So we're a little bit better. But actually, I think this was Slimani's regen. Yamin Chekamani set 19 and 69 overall, nice. So as just for depth, I decided to sign him, but Mohamed Bayo is going to be our man throughout this whole save. So it wasn't a big deal to me, but just to kind of improve the depth, I decided to bring him in. So in the end, you can see a much better start to the season compared to the last one, where we were in the basement, we were in the cellar. So 24 points, 13th. I mean, pretty good space between relegations. We're not going to get relegated for sure, so that's a good, nice way to start the season. And we'll see if maybe any of the catch up on any of the cup fixtures, any of that. As you can see now, we are able to bring in Slimani, 63 overall at age 16, showing great potential. And I think we're going to just kind of work on the dev plan, see if there's any other areas we can improve. I mean, his defending is actually pretty good for the most part for 63 overall player, but we'll just keep trying to work on that and maybe turn him to left back like you saw there. So moving on now, it's been a transfer history of the season. You can see we'd actually sell a couple other players and did loan some players, some of the youth players out just to see if they could grow. Brought in another player, Mamadou Fall, really isn't going to just there for depth for the purpose of simming. Bertemeyer did leave us, 33 overall player, but for the most part, nothing too huge with some of the signings we made. But it's going to turn into a decent season for us in the end. We do actually bounce out of the cup against Metz after a decent cup run the last time. It wasn't really meant to be here, but in the end, a 11th place finish in season 2 is pretty solid. So that's a good way to finish the second season. As we'll move on to season 3 now. So Metz actually, fit in a decent spot. So that's a team we kind of would see as probably losing to. PSG again dominating the league for the most part, even more so than before. It was actually a bit closer in the previous season. And you can see kind of the goals here. Bayo actually with 17 goals made him 6th in the race for the Golden Boot, so that's actually a pretty good season. Dosu also with 13 goals, so 11th. So the attack has certainly improved. Dosu getting quite a few matches certainly has proved to be a good player. Bayo with 7 assists also, and Cowie with 5, and a few other players probably in that range also. And in the end, you see 18 goals, 9 assists from Bayo. Dosu with 13 goals, 3 assists on the season is total. Carvalho with 8 goals, 5 assists. Cowie with 7 goals, 5 assists. Alavina came off the bench to provide 3 and 2. I think he's a player we'll probably see more in the next season because Dosu is going down a bit more in his rating. So pretty good growth for the most part. You can see Slimani, kind of the big winner in growth. And moving over, Amadou, a couple other players in the backline improving, which is what we need to see. Busquets up to 75 also. Carvalho actually grew to 79. And some of the players on loan are actually progressing well, but sometimes they progress well, and then once you bring them back, you almost have to send them out on loan until they're ready. But Bio, the big player, 81 overall. And now moving on to Season 3, we can make a bit more of a marquee signing with Alphonse Areola. And he's going to help us improve that goalkeeper spot in their defense in general, which is really our weak point. This is where I think we can start making some bigger signings. We have established ourselves a bit more, I feel like. And, hey, we have some money now, so considering the fact we don't spend on any transfers other than, just signing players. A player who's a depth piece, Bilal Benkadim, who was from one of the relegated sides. I was like, okay, we're going to try to keep it somewhat realistic, bring him in as a rotation player and see how he fits into the side, just to see maybe if we can have a bit of growth for him. Now, William Carvalho, 31-year-old, of course, a player who was always expected to, I think, do a bit more in his club career. Obviously, had a really good national team career, but 79 overall, 31, age 31. We're going to have him step in for Amanya, and I think as we are kind of approaching trying to improve the team a bit more, I mean, having that big 5 overall boost, I think, is a big deal at CDM. I think maybe he could have stunned Manya's growth a little bit, though. It's kind of debatable. And now you can see the side is a bit more depth. I mean, goalkeeper's a lot better. As a fact, we have 84 overall player. We still are going to need to see some improvement along the back line. But I feel like midfield is looking a lot better. And this season, which is absolutely ridiculous with you can see me simming through the calendar. And we are at second place halfway through the season. 44 points, 3 points away from PSG. That's just how it is, though, with this game. Once you get in form, for some reason, that's like the big thing. I also do think maybe the quality of the league is the thing, because if you ever notice in career mode, Premier League teams just basically poach all the players in like teams like Madrid and Barca. So I think that's one of the issues maybe with the balance in this league, maybe in FIFA also now. We also are going to sign Alvaro on a pre-contract, as since we are probably going to be, we're going to be qualifying for a European competition. We need a player who's a bit higher rated also at the center back spot. Alvaro, of course, obviously has some experience there, and I think he can give us some depth at the moment. Now, moving on to another cup run, it looks like here, and that could be a big aspect of this season. Trying to at least bring it. If you can't win the league eventually, winning a trophy would be a pretty big deal for Clermont Foot, obviously. And now moving to the quarterfinals of the Coupe Nationale, have actually had a pretty good draw, actually drawing Sochaux. I think it's Sochaux. Moving on, 3-0, and now a semi-final match versus Olympique Lyon. And this is a big one, obviously. And simming this one actually would end up seeing a 2-1 victory to put us in the final of the Coupe Nationale versus Monaco. So that is an absolutely huge way to end this season. You can see Liga, we ended up finishing third. PSG ran away at the end. Their quality prevailed, and you can see some of the other results is balancing themselves out a bit more. But third is actually a pretty big result in the end, no matter what. And now we'll move on to a potential cup victory, a potential trophy to add here. They do actually have some interesting players like Weghorst on their side of it. I mean, looking at the goals, Bayo making a big difference. 22 goals, 3 behind Neymar. That was a huge season from him. Alavina, who actually moved in the starting role with 12 goals on the season. As Dosu did end up kind of declining more and more, we had to move Alavina to the starting right mid spot. So that was a pretty big deal from him. Cafaro actually pitching with 10 goals. So our attack was incredibly good. Cafaro actually with 10 assists. 9 from Bayo, Dosu was 6, and yeah, that was a pretty good season, pretty remarkable season for the most part. Now moving on to this cup final versus PSG. Versus Monaco. Sorry, I saw the PSG emblems. Versus Monaco at the PSG grounds for some reason, which has their other style. I mean, I understand that. I think FIFA also kind of switches the stadiums around for cup finals and all that I've seen, but Monaco, a really good team. Calvert-Lewin, Rebic, Nico Gonzalez, Weghorst, Golovin, Parejo. Rudiger actually signed for the team as well. So they've got some pretty good players. And just to be able to be in this spot versus them is a pretty big deal. Our back line is... we have the young Algerian left back Slimani stepping in at the left back spot. He's going to be Bayo up top, Kawi, Cafaro, Dosu, Carvalho, Busquets. Of course, Carvalho knows a bit about these big matches. and we'll see how he can perform and help lead this back line, trying to protect it this whole match. But you'll see a good play. A great ball to Weghorst, who beats Areola at the near post to make things 1-0 to Monaco early on. Thought, okay, maybe this one is going to be over pretty quickly, but actually some pretty fun chaos within this match. You can see the main issue with this the CPU is they press a bit too much. See Cowie playing the ball here to Carvalho, and the CDM with that late run in the box is the one. Take advantage of that really high press from Monaco, and it's going to be 1-1 here in the 11th minute. So going to be a pretty high scoring match, possibly, with the way that Monaco is playing, and at least some gaps open, and they're going to try to make things happen, pressuring us. You can see, just have to be quick with it. Bio dropped deep in the midfield. Ball play up to Cowie. Got a little bit touch on his head. He's going to have a go and just hit right at the keeper, but pretty good efforts. Bio just seems to make things happen when he drops deep in the midfield from time to time. It looks like might be a chance with a second ball here. Carvalho wins it. Cowie is going to have some time running at the defense. Going to look for the ball. Bio to Dosu, and Dosu. It makes it 2-1 in the 18th minute. Bio with his hold-up play, link-up play has been incredible throughout the times we've seen him play in this save. And Dosu on the wing, using his pace to get behind that defense, takes advantage of that moment. And now, not the best defending. Areola is kind of waving his hands there. And again, Monaco responds pretty quickly. Nico Gonzalez with the goal in the end. But now Rebic back out on this wing. A good little touch. A huge block from Amadou with his chest just to keep it away. Some poor defending. Calvert-Lewin in a great spot. But now 2-2, 56 minute. Cowie, with some room. Dosu, who's going to look for the cross. Ball played to Cafaro, who's going to cut the ball back here to Bayo, and just gets that on the near post. What a finish. Great vision as well, as it's now the 58th minute, 3-2. And it looks like there's still be plenty left to play for, though, with the way how Monaco has been responding every time we've managed to grab a goal. So it could be an interesting ending of this match for sure. And yeah, that's some beautiful play now. Monaco trying to make things happen. Ball just going around everywhere. And again, 3-3, 63rd minutes. Now 66 minutes off of a corner, trying to make something happen. Carvalho playing the ball here to Cafaro, going to cut the ball back to Carvalho, back to Cowie. Late run from Busquets, and to Busquets, Oriol Busquets, 4-3, 68th minute. We've seen these late runs in the box be the kind of a big thing throughout some of these games. And again, Bowie back to Cowie, playing off the shoulder. What a link-up play between those two. 5-3, 76 minutes. And that is some great chemistry from the two players. And you see a lot of these guys who have been here from the start really being the key contributors in the end. 5-3, winning the Coupe Nationale. A spot that maybe Clermont foot supporters never thought they'd see themselves in. Lifting a title in this manner is a pretty big deal, obviously. So what a victory. And you'll see some of the players celebrating that. I do like that we do have quite a few game faces. Utondiji is actually one of the game faces. Areola, I think Amadou has one as well. I think they're actually adding Cowie in a future update. That's one reason. That's a bit unfortunate that I did not do this at the time. But whatever. I was really excited for this challenge, and it's a great way to keep this going. But there's still plenty of this to come. And we'll see if we can eventually grab that Liga title. It's going to be very difficult, though, with PSG. So at this point, I was like, oh, man, we might fail the challenge, but at least we could bring, a cup competition. But 26 goals, 10 assists from Bayo. Cafaro with 12 goals, 11 assists. Alavino with 12 and 4. Cowie with 9 and 10. 7-7 from Dosu. 75 overall, but he actually was starting to go down a little bit. 7 goals from Bekedim as well. So pretty good season for the most part for some of these players. I mean, you see the overalls. Some of the guys who are coming in, obviously, this next season now. Alvaro, age 34, 77 overall. Probably going to be declining in this season. But not a big deal because we just need some more depth for these possible Champions League matches we'll see coming up. Now we get some players we can bring in some more quality, I feel like, now that we finished third and we won a cup. So Jean-Louis Cajuste, he's a player who's been linked to quite a few big clubs in real life. He's made a free agent and he's a guy who I think would make sense making a move here to a bigger club. at the moment. So yeah, he's gonna be now kind of Carvalho's replacement, who is Mania's replacement. It's a little bit confusing maybe, but it is what it is. So yeah, because at the moment he is playing. Actually, he's playing in Rem. Excuse me. I remember him playing at Michelin, but I think he just moved this season in real life to Rem. So obviously, I did not. This is not updated because he moved on January 10th, just like a few days before I recorded this. So that's something I should have kept in mind. But either way, it's gonna work out. In the end, we've got some big signings who are going to improve this team quite a bit. So Karius is going to be in that midfield with Busquets. Still going to have Carvalho as some backup, and I think just having that depth is a pretty big deal. And Slimani is the left back for now, but of course you saw we signed Alex Balde, who is going to be a player who certainly will feature in the future. But now in this trophy, the Champions against PSG, and this was an interesting match because obviously they are stacked. They have tons of very good players. And we'll see how we fare against them. You can see they got Hakimi, Marquinhos, obviously. Souček they signed. Thomas Müller actually came to the side. So interesting players for sure. I actually have Messi on the bench as well. I'm sure he's actually probably gone down quite a bit in his overall rating. But it's going to be a tough one. Obviously, just coming against Neymar and Mbappe, you could just throw anyone else out there. And having to deal with those two attackers is going to be difficult. So we'll see how we fare in this one. As we move on now. Some interesting play from Thomas Müller. Cutting the ball back. Karius with a big interception. You'll see he's a thick bit. Ball played over here to Alavinha with his pace. And this is exactly the way we wanted to play. Use that pace on the wings. Unfortunately, no composure right there. It would have been a huge deal for him to score that goal. Because obviously, he played a huge role in the season where we were fighting relegation. He had the winning assist that just pushed us back into the race. And Cowie, though, steps up as we saw him start this career mode with a huge goal from outside the box. So that's what I'd like to see, this continuity with having players like this, and it's pretty awesome because we're in the 4th season now, and you saw Cowie being the one to score a huge goal at the start of the career mode, and of course Alavinha almost had that same type of moment here, and I think it's been a pretty fun kind of rebuild / challenge we're doing here, but in the end, some terrible defending, and it's going to be equalized 1-1 at the 83rd minute. Unfortunate, it's very fortunate in that moment, but it's going to go to penalties in the end. So we'll be asking Areola coming up against his former side to make some saves. And obviously playing against some players he's maybe a bit more familiar with. It makes that save right there huge as we're now up 2-0. Mbappe is going to step up. He's going to score his 2-1. And obviously we're not playing against just any goalkeeper in the world out there, as it's now 3-2. Pretty tense moments. Donnarumma has not saved one yet, and this could be a huge one. Messi stepping up, hits that one in, and now a huge one from William Carvalho. Of course, a player who knows big game moments is the one who steps up and grabs the victory for us. So we get to see 2 trophies at least, and we'll see if that league title won't be so elusive, because it's certainly going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one, but it's one that we could keep trying to build ourselves up to. And you see how Simming is in this game. Anything can happen. Certainly anything can happen. It's very unpredictable. But another trophy being raised. And we do have, a much stronger side from the start. But we've also kept some players. And I think that's pretty cool. So you can see a player who's been from the starts. Obviously with Tontigi, as well as Bayo, Cowie, Lavina. Zedadka as well. In the end, we did get bounced, unfortunately, from the Champions League qualification by Rangers. The Champions League qualification round did not go the best. In the end, we'll be relegated to Europa League, and that just would be a good competition to try to kind of see if we can maybe grab another title if we can't win League. But at the moment, pretty big match. 5 played, 8 points in front of the Greece side in Panathinaikos, and we'll see if we can at least grab a point to keep ourselves in Europa League and possibly have a bit of a run. We did use kind of some of the youth players throughout Europa League to see if any of them would kind of have some dynamic potential boost and all that, but It didn't help as much as I would have liked. In the end, we win, and we'll move on to the knockout stages of the Europa League. So a pretty good campaign there that was. And now we'll move to kind of looking at the knockout rounds after we look out where we stand so far first half of the season. So in 34 points, trying to balance Europa League is definitely a big balancing European competition is always very difficult. And we saw that kind of with my Augsburg rebuild. That was an issue for sure when you have a team that we don't have as much depth as some of the other sides, but still only not too far away from a European spot. In the end, though, we did draw Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, didn't go as well as we would like. I mean, the first 2-1 kept ourselves in, but we did have 2 huge red cards from some key players in Kawi and Amadou, and that really just made things not work very well. So yeah, big loss in the end by aggregate, losing by 3 goals, but still 4th place, not too bad. 70 points, still missed out unfortunately on that Champions League qualification spot. I believe that is not automatic Europa League spot, as we'll see here. 3rd would have been a Champions League playoff spot, but it's okay. I mean, PSG again winning the league. It's pretty impressive, man. Like they just keep on winning and winning. But yeah, we're gonna move to the next season. 70 points. Yeah. Or wait, was it the same season? No, this is the same season. I'm stupid. Oh my god. But some of the players did terminate the contracts and all that, and not a huge deal. But looking at the goals now. Sorry, the people that sell gas here where I live are passing, and it's probably really loud. But 19 goals from Bayo, a wonderful output from him. Kawi with 15 put himself kind of in that race as well. Carvalho has been incredible. 11 assists from him. Bayo with 7 assists also. So our attack clearly is very good at the moment, and that's really kind of the main part of this. 23 goals, 9 assists from Bayo in all competitions. 21 goals, 8 from Kawi. I mean, you can see 10 from quite a few players. So a lot of our kind of youth players did step up quite a bit in this season. You saw Slimani getting up to 73. He's a player that's going to be featuring throughout. Yeah, but I think Baldwin now 75 overall, showing great potential as a player. I think we need to try to. We're having him and Slimani kind of battling out for that left back spot at the moment. Gayus going up, Kawi up to 79 overall. Dosuf is unfortunately now dropping, but Muhammad Bayo at the 87 overall, age 27, has certainly turned into the quality player we would like him to be. But we did make one signing, which I unfortunately did not record because I'm an idiot. Rafa Camacho, a right winger. Who can step in right there at the moment and really do a job. He's a 2-point overall boost over Alavina. He does have a game face also, which is cool to see, but we're not going to be probably playing many games in this season. Did end up addressing kind of the depth we need to improve a little bit at the center back spot with Toniji. Unfortunately, he's not growing anymore. And I said, okay, we're gonna take Hamza Choduri, and we're going to, yeah, convert him to center back because we could not find any good center backs, and Alvaro obviously was going down quite a bit in rating. So we thought, okay, put him on the center back and see how he does, because he is a pretty big man. He's got a beautiful afro, and I think he needs to step in there. We do have now some depth, which allows us to have like 2 squads, which are not terrible, which is good for the Europa League competitions and cup competitions. And you'll see Chuzuri step in there, the center back spot, and see how he performs there, as we have a interesting Europa League group with Porto, Rapid Wien, and Bohemian FC. And I did use the backup squad throughout. So this actually came to the last match where I had to use the full squad. And in the end, we thankfully went through in the Europa League after a 3-1 victory. So not a bad run for sure. In the end, 36 points, 4th in the table. It's difficult, obviously, trying to catch up to PSG. They still have the likes of Neymar and Mbappe, and I'm sure they've added some more players as well. So that's the main issue, is trying to catch up with PSG. It's almost, we got to get a bit lucky and kind of find some form in one of these seasons before we run out of time. So this is 6 seasons. It's a bit on the longer end, obviously. I mean, it's almost 50-minute video, and I'm sorry if that's a bit long for you guys. But at the end, using that backup squad in the cup, we did get knocked out. And this season, I don't think I even showed for last season. I mean, we already won the cup, so it's not huge of a deal as in this season, in my opinion. And unfortunately, who do we get drawn with? In the round of 16 of Europa League, it is going to be against PSG. You can see, I mean, they still have incredibly good players. And they have quite a few youth players, so I'm guessing are pretty high rated. In the end, we get knocked out 5-3 on aggregate by PSG. And this club certainly is trying to get revenge off of that trophy that we won, the Champions Trophy that we won against them. In the end, 5th. And it's just kind of another case where I think having to balance Europa League is a bit difficult. But maybe this season, now that we can focus a bit more on this, we can just focus completely on the non-European competitions. I'll just have the ability now to just throw that backup side in against in Europa League and be fine, as we really need to try to push for that league title now, because that's the main thing. As again, Mbappe, 28 goals, still just destroying it, but 21 goals from Bayo. He's been incredible for us, obviously. A couple other players on there in the assists. Carvalho still has been incredible with this amount of assists. Rafa Camacho with 8 assists also. 26 goals, 4 assists from Bayo. 13 goals, 11 assists from Carvalho. Rafa Camacho with 11 goals, 9 assists. 7 and 3 from Zadaka. Kayus with 6 and 3. Kawi with 6 and 5. Chakamani mostly played kind of the rotational game, those games to rotate 5 and 1, 5 and 1, 5 and 2 from Alivina, who's actually still improving quite a bit. And Alex Bada, I think we did actually kind of transition him to the starting lineup eventually. Yeah, because he grows a bit quicker. I feel like sometimes the youth players do not grow as fast as you'd like to see. But now moving into this last season, our first signing was pretty fucking... I panicked and I got Fred. He was like, man, we just got to like sign anyone who's decently rated. And I was like, okay, Fred's available. But I missed someone else who's much more high-key signing. But we brought the legendary Fred in. He's not going to start. He's going to be here primarily for just like simming like the Europa League matches and stuff. But we found a pretty good right back in Kevin Mbabu. So I was like, okay, he's decent rating. And I feel like he'll help us quite a bit in the league, and he's got pace, so that's a big thing also for matches he plays. So Mbabu is going to be joining us at the right back spot. You kind of sees now we're an established, decent French side with the aspirations to win the title, and finally, the one who hopefully can lead us to the title, Kevin De Bruyne. Just come and save us, please, man. Get us that title. Get us somewhere close. He's going to step in at the center attacking mid spot. We're actually going to move Cowie to the right wing. Rafa Camacho we can use as a super sub with his pace also. And Alivina. So that is where we're at now. He wants pretty low wages. He's obviously on the lower ends. And that improves us quite a bit, you know, rating-wise. You'll see De Bruyne moving into the cam spot. And he's going to move Cowie to the right wing. He's going to play more of a technical game because we don't have as much... Now that we actually can like hold the ball, we have decent attackers. We don't just have to play that really counterattack style. Actually, also brought in Daniel Marty, another backup center back option, just for the sake of like simming and overall ratings and all that. And I think the signings we made in this last season, which I think kind of made a bit more sense to do at this point, now that we've kind of established ourselves as a decent French side, than just do it right away. Hey, I tried to keep this as realistic as possible. And at this point, you'll see third in the table, 1 point behind PSG. Nice is having a pretty big season, but we'll probably see them drop off. In a huge match at home against the like of Dennis Mann, Mbappe, Neres is actually on the side. So it's a much different team they have now, obviously. I think they have a lot of like youth players at this point is what's going to probably happen, like regens and stuff like that. That's what I noticed. A lot of teams do have a decent amount of regens now when you go to like the year 5, 6, all that, even sometimes earlier. So a huge one against PSG at home. And this is one that will certainly try to possibly kind of decide the season. But a big opportunity stopped by Areola. The big signing has just came out huge in this match. Another save from him as Mbappe was through. And they're going to try to play one in the box now. 16th minute. A great header to Busquets, unfortunately. Not the best contact, but it would have been a huge goal from the player who's been from the start. Now, De Bruyne playing the ball out here to Carvalho, who's going to look for the cutback. Nope, he's actually going to have a go, but he should have cut the ball back probably. De Bruyne gets the ball back again from Carvalho. A huge save from Donnarumma, and now still trying to make things happen. Could not in the end. And now PSG bottles one a little bit, but actually Areola, you got a slight piece of that on the shot from Dennis, man. Huge game from him. De Bruyne with the hit. Donnarumma very strong in his near post to stop that. And now Chuduri has a go. Again, Donnarumma. This is an absolute goalkeeper show at the moment. 41st minute. De Bruyne turns his man, makes a little bit of space. Bayo sees Busquets. Going to try to have a bit of link-up play. Bayo using his strength, holding a man off, and sees De Bruyne. Now this one has to go in the back of the net, and yes, it does. 42nd minute, 1-0. A beautiful effort on goal that was, and that is how you want to get things going after all those huge things by Areola. And the big chances on your own, you kind of want to, make things happen, man. But Areola again, huge save. And now Mbappe turning, dancing a little bit in the box. And the ball bounces off of him and goes back out. Doesn't go in the net. Dennis man with a huge hit. We just have a bit of luck going for us. PSG has been all over. De Bruyne is going to have a go. Should have cut the ball back. But again, a miraculous save from Donnarumma. Fully stretched. Now they're just throwing numbers forward. De Bruyne with an effort. Off the post, and just cannot find that goal to try to wrap things out yet, possibly, as Cowie's going to play the ball over the top to Bayo, and a huge save again from Donnarumma, 77th minute. What a fucking game from both the goalkeepers, as Busquets is going to play the big ball over the top to Olavina. Oh man, the pacey man who's been here from the start hits one off of the post, but it goes to Bayo, and in the end, it's a huge goal, 2-0. It's what we saw at the end of that last match we played in the season. Olavina to Bayo, they were the ones who connected to keep the club up, and they are the one who are going to put us in the driver's seat. 39 points in front of PSG on goal differential. Our attack is ridiculously good, and it's going to be a fun run the rest of the season. So this could be the one. It's just a matter of 31 points now. We are above PSG by 3 points. And in the driver's seat, a big match away against PSG. And I'll just some of these away fixtures, man, you're going to see them, like Mbappe is about to show out. But PSG at their home now. They don't want to see little Clermont foot beat them. And we'll see how things go. Obviously, they have a strong side, very strong side. You can see that still have some good players. Obviously, still have Mbappe. They got Hakimi, Donnarumma, who absolutely went off the last match. You can take a look at their lineup now. Actually, I just want to showcase it because for the sake of, you can see they have quite a few players who look to be either youth products or regens. Probably now they still got other players though. But interesting side: Skip, Schlager, Palinha, David Neres, who obviously in real life just moved to Shakhtar Donetsk. Again, this was recorded very early in FIFA. Now Bayo playing Cowie through. He's going to play the ball back to Bayo, and a beautiful look to make things 1-0 in the 16th minute. But PSG, as we saw in the last match, will have plenty of responses, and we'll see what they have in store because they are very good. Obviously, we can see Mbabu, one of our recent signing this season, playing at that right back spot. And it's going to be tough because they are just holding on the ball in these tight spots. Mbappe with a quick turn and hit. A beautiful finish. Areola didn't have much of a chance. 1-1 with his classic celebration, his signature celebration, 20th minutes. And it looks like PSG is not playing around in this one. They saw what happened in the last match, and they want to make things better. Of course, we did. Alex Balde actually has moved to the starting left back spot, and the ball played here again. Mbappe, too easy. Our defense was very poor at their positioning that one. 2-1 now in the 39th minute. So trying to respond ourselves. Amadou is going to play the ball here to Bayo. Quick one, Cafaro to De Bruyne. It looks like he's through on goal. He doesn't have the legs he once had. He's going to have a go, but Marquinhos just with that tackle from behind. Incredible tackle there as they are pressing very strangely. Cali now 1v1 eventually takes advantage of the terrible press to make things 2-2. So in the end, we tie it, but certainly that could have been the go-ahead goal in that instance after that incredible tackle from Marquinhos to keep things 2-1 before. But Mbabu's going to step up. Bayo using his strength, going to look for the ball across to De Bruyne, and just goes in as it's now 3-2 in the 61st minute. Now it's about trying to hold on for 30 minutes. And De Bruyne going to celebrate, obviously. Interesting way, maybe he would see him finishing his career, but it is what it is, man. You can see some good players over there celebrating, but the instant response, some terrible, I don't know what Mbabu was doing, just kind of running, keeping him on side, and in the end, after a big lapse, immediately after scoring that goal, 3-3, and it's going to be a takeover now, as PSG just saying, hey, goodbye. We are running you over. Have fun. Have a chance though to tie things up. Alavina play the ball to Bayo. Unfortunately, right at Donnarumma. Could have been the one to at least hold a draw. Holding those points, just getting a point, staying level with each other basically would have been a pretty big deal because, I mean, we were 3 points ahead. Yeah, not good defending. Interesting stuff going on. Ping pong happening. Ball falls perfectly to PSG. Got EA'd 5-3. And that is how that one would end. But in the end, you'll see after simming one that for some reason PSG just bottled after this. We were level, but immediately after we won our next match and PSG lost it. And at that point, I just decided to show the matches for the sake of it. We even lost one. They came level with us. We won one. And they lost one. So, yeah, PSG just kind of were in the driver's seat and completely blew it. So now 5 points ahead with 2 matches. And it looks like despite that big loss, all we have to do is grab points against Strasbourg. But you never know here. So last match of the season, we need to grab at least a point. I mean, it would be ideal to beat this side and not even have to worry about all the different goals, tiebreakers, whatever, and everything. So in the end, Strasbourg is going to be our final opponent here. Cowie cutting the ball back to Bayo. Have a hit, and that just hits the crossbar. Our big man, Mohamed Bayo, looked like he was going to be the one to put his side ahead. But De Bruyne playing the ball to Bayo. Cajuste going to look for a run. Perfectly played ball to Bayo into the space. And he heads that one in to make things 1-0 in the 20th minutes. What a beautiful header from the big, thick man, Ghanaian king. That is a beautiful goal, and that is one that certainly could set the stage for the title celebrations in this one. Now, 44th minutes, going to have an opportunity here. Bayo, again, 2-0. And having this man be the one to step up and being from players like Cowie, who's been here from the start, is a pretty big deal with that celebration. Now 2-0. The boys are happy. But Strasbourg certainly did not have, any reason to give up. They're professional football players. They get back 2-1. And now it looks like they have another one in their hopes. And again, 2-2 in the 51st minute. It looked like PSG was winning their match as well. So not very good timing for that to all be happening. But moving forward, De Bruyne playing the ball over top to Alavina. And again, the guy who's shown up in big moments for us. He's here into some space, going to play the ball to Mohamed Bayo. And oh my God, the magic of these two has been seen in plenty of big moments. We saw them keeping the side up, and now you see them being the ones to lead their side to the title in the end here. And that's the magic of not doing I feel like, complete overhaul. You see the boys celebrating in the end, 3-2 victory, and that is how we eventually would grab the league title. So that was a very exciting way to end the season, and I think it is a great way to end it. But we saw Mohamed Bayo turn into an absolute beast. We brought in some interesting players in the end. Some players who weren't even the high rated, but hey, there's Cinderella stories all the time. You gotta let that magic happen, and in the end, you'll see them all celebrating. And it was a fun way to end all this. An interesting cut right there, but some good players. Mohamed Bayo, the one to come over and in the end pick that up. He was the one who got Clermont Foot to Ligue 1 with a huge season, and he is the one to lead his side to a Ligue 1 victory. So thank you everyone who tuned in. It's a very long career mode challenge. I doubt anyone really kept watching the whole time. If you really did, I appreciate it and hope you guys enjoyed this content, as I certainly hope to have as much content possible for you guys. I mean, plenty of career mode challenges, rebuilds. Make sure you check out my second channel if you're a US men's national team fan, which is Chilpa One US men's national team talk. That, guys, thank you all for tuning in. I love you. I'll be signing out now, and I'll catch you guys later.